Islam,
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 Islam.
Islam,
Yes,
Islamism.
Islam. Welcome to the Moorish Sense channel. Welcome to the Moorish Sense channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm your host, Sheikh Brendan Jordan Ill, member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 13. And we have a special guest this evening with us as well.
Praise Allah.
Well as my co-host. Well, he's the co-host as well. So I'm gonna just pass it around. Everybody can introduce themselves, and then we'll get into our topic this evening after the Moorish American prayer. Islam,
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 Islam.
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 Allah, the Father of the universe,
Allah,
Allah,
the
the
Father of the
Father of the
universe,
universe,
the Father of love,
the
the Father
Father of
of love,
love,
truth,
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 peace,
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 freedom,
freedom.
freedom,
and justice.
and justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah
Allah
is
is
my
my
protector,
protector,
my guide,
my
my God,
God,
and my salvation
and
and
my
my
salvation
salvation
by night
by
by night
night
and by day
and
and by
by
day.
day.
through his holy prophet,
Through
Through
his
his
holy
holy
prophet,
prophet,
Drew Ali.
Drew
Drew
Ali,
Ali,
Amen.
Amen.
Islamism.
Islam.
Islam.
Praise Allah. So again, welcome to the Moorish Sense channel. I first would like to raise my thoughts. I like to rise and give praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I also want to give honors to my beloved Prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to the Prophet's forerunner, Brother Marcus Mosiah, and Relius Garvey. And I give honor to all past and present leaders of the Moorish Science Temple of America, those that we know and those that we don't know. I want to give a special honor to our national Grand Sheik is at 1055 North Milton Avenue. And that's Grand Sheik is T. Jones Bay, as well as the rest of our national officials and our staff. And I want to give a special honor this evening to our brother Sheik, Sheik Maurice Pennington Bay. So everybody can go around and introduce themselves because our audience may and may not be familiar with everyone. And it's been about a month and a half since
Yeah,
the last time we did a segment. So
praise
pass the
Allah.
microphone over.
And I'm brother Valines Bay, Temple number 13 here in Baltimore, Maryland. Praise Allah, Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Uh, just giving hail and high honors to all those who honors due Islamism.
Islam.
Islam. Islam. Sheikh Maurice Pennington Bay. Uh, I give praise to Allah, honor to His holy prophet, Nabi Ali, honor to the forerunner of the prophet, honor to the Moorish Sense channel, honor to these brothers, Sheikh Beach on the Hill and Sheikh Valance Bay.
Islam.
Uh, honor to the opportunity to talk about, the Moorish subject. That's, at this time, man, for me, I love it. I love building with the Moors about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's plan.
That's right.
Islam,
Islam.
Islamism.
Praise Allah. So this segment right here is called the Let the Truth Be Told. And if anyone had the chance or opportunity to look at the thumbnail is of course it is parable. It's also allegory as well. You'll see a brother on the thumbnail, and on the thumbnail, the brother has two cups of water. He has a clean glass, and then he has a glass that's kind of murky. And we know and understand that truth is likened to water because water has the ability to be supple, but also water has the ability to reach certain places and
Hmm.
certain places or faculties in which we may not find falsehood reaching. So, with that being said, there's a specific page in the Great Book of the Resurrection. I'm gonna pivot over there real quick, and then it talks about cleaning the inside of the cup up first, and the outside automatically become clean, right? And I know that some people may not be familiar with that analogy, but one analogy that most people are familiar with, if anyone has ever seen it, I'm pretty sure anybody in the audience have seen the movie of Malcolm X or the film depicting the life of Malcolm X, in which Elijah Muhammad points out or references two glasses, and he points the glass up, and one glass represents truth, and the
Mm-hmm.
other glass represents falsehood. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to get into this evening, as well as a few various other topics. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Sheik Balance Bay, and then also Sheik Pennington Bay.
Yeah. So you brought out some really important points, because when you see that glass, that dirty glass next to the clean glass, basically what that is expressing as well is that there have been some things that have crept into the Moorish Science Temple of America that actually has nothing to do with Prophet Noble Drew Ali's system.
That's right.
Now, that doesn't make the people who practice those things bad, or it it just basically states that there needs to be some truth and reconciliation. And unfortunately, there are some people who don't, they don't, they kind of want to continue to run on their own juice and turn things into an argument, and that's not what we're supposed to do, right? What happens is, we, like we say all the time, we communicate, we don't debate. And what we do is for the upliftment of one another. And what we would like to do is get what Prophet Noble Drew Ali established in his system right. Because he did say he left his footprints clearly cut. Um, and somehow, uh, people don't want to, if you will, talk about what it is that he left and what it is that or the steps and measures that we need to take in order for us to become a unified family, so to speak, right? We know that we're not going to practice all the same way, but we should have enough love in our hearts and minds to be able to sit down and have a cordial conversation. And in that cordial conversation, now we can see, all right, this sheik or this brother or member or whatever our titles may be, we take into consideration of what's being said. And then there are just some things that have been said and are being said. We know for sure that that's not connected to Prophet Noble Drew Ali's system.
That's right.
So praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
So, I'm very familiar with the feeling, even though I must say, since I did join the Moorish Science of America in prison,
Hmm.
and the difference in prison is that a lot of what exists out here, it doesn't exist in prison. So
That's right.
like we never had a this body or that body, even
Hmm.
though we knew that it exists, but we had each other. It wasn't about that. And then we had, like, for instance, you had guys on the compound, you know, that was desperate to get out of prison, and they were just all in on the sovereign citizen movement.
Hmm.
I had my experience with it when I first went into prison. Guys was like, "Hey, you can use this to get out." So I'm like, "Yeah, I got 20 some years. I'm definitely trying to get out."
Right.
So I started studying it, but I had joined the Moorish Science Temple of America. And for me, and learning more science and sitting inside the Sunday school and really studying the prophets material and trying to make that a part of my life, I instantly started to see that it went contrary to what this movement was about. And for me, I just want to say certain things like, if you filing paperwork and you saying on this paperwork that you own your wife or your kids and
Mm-hmm.
this type of thing, that's slavery.
Hmm.
Come on.
Understand what I'm saying? So that didn't align with the prophet's teachings. In the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have leaders, we have men and women who are in authority. So that doesn't align with the idea that I'm a sovereign,
Hmm.
all authority. I answer to no one. You can't.
That's right.
It don't work like that.
Right.
So it's just some of those things in the look, and but I also know and realize that um, in a lot of temples where these ideas are prevalent, they don't start at the beginning. So the foundation is not strong, and that really leans to our people who honestly want to be a part of the prophet's movement becoming susceptible to this stuff. If you ask me.
That's a great
Hmm.
point.
That's a great point. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I would like my not journey, but my I guess introduction to what sovereign citizen and the sovereign citizen movement is a little different. We have a bookstore here in Baltimore, and prior to me coming into the temple, I was an individual who would read a lot of books, get a lot of books, study, and things of that nature. I have, cousins and family members who are in various different other Asiatic organizations, and one of my cousins in particular, he had made mention of his one of his little homeboys, as he said, proclaiming his nationality. Now, from the time I was about 17 up until the time I was about 22, I have had run-ins with different Moorish Americans. My loctician was a Moorish American. My one of my good homeboys who I grew up with, who met his demise a few years back, his uncle actually was an official in our temple, but I didn't put two and two together until I actually united in the temple, Milton and Chase, Temple number 13. But then the books that they had at this specific bookstore, the books on UCC and sovereignty and all this other madness, it was filtered in with books by reputable Moorish American authors.
Yeah.
So a person with a young mind can't really delineate between the difference between what a brother, for example, like the Grand Sheik Azim Hopkins Bey, who is a knowledgeable scholar, right? He's an authority on Moorish, or
Mm,
even in the Great Book of the Resurrection, written by Grand Sheik Timothy G. Dingley, um, those who have actually put in not just time and effort, but sweat equity in this movement, regardless of whatever administration, like Sheik Pennington Bey stated. I wasn't able, my mind wasn't mature enough to make a difference between the two. So what I found myself doing, I found myself grabbing a copy of what I thought was the Resurrection book, and I also grabbed some UCC books. And when I looked at the books, I couldn't make sense of the Resurrection book because there was a lot going on. And these books, it just showed how to get out of certain things. Now, when you're young, you're impressionable, and you don't have a lot on you, but you have bills, debts, etc. Hearing, oh, I can cancel my debt and I can place it on this person's name or straw man and all this other confusion, you're gonna flock to it. It
mm,
wasn't until I came into the temple and I met Sheikh Valans Bey, I met Sheikh Thompson Bey, and a couple of other brothers who were a little younger, a little older than me, where they actually set me down and they guided me, So, and then also the Grand Sheik Prather as well. So that guidance is definitely needed, and we definitely need we gotta make a distinction between the two, and that's
mm,
what we've been kind of hitting on. Like Sheikh Valance Bey stated earlier, it's not that we're trying to browbeat or chastise our brothers and sisters who may not know the difference. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an educational platform in which you can make a distinction between the clean glass of water and the glass that's kind of murky, and
mm.
filter through that murk to make your glass cleaner. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Mhm.
and you know, in my experience, so with now I united in the Moorish Science Temple in 1998, right? Before then, I was a part of another organization, um, and it was so that was, well, some people will say it's the nation of gods and earth, right?
Mhm.
So I studied, and in studying that, I started to find out, about history about Islam and here in America. So one of the great scholars, if you've ever heard or wrote some books, but a brother by the name of Prince Cuba. Prince Cuba had a book, um, and I think the book is called Black Gods of the Inner City, and it had Brother Prophet, who we refer to as Brother Prophet, the reincarnated prophet, had the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, had
Farah
Clarence
Muhammad.
13 Acts,
Yeah, Farah Muhammad.
Elijah Muhammad, Farah. So it had those pictures, and I was able to read a little bit of history, and it interest me in visiting the temple. Um, So in visiting the temple, when I went, it was like, wow. I'm like, these people, they were talking to me. And they were hitting on some of the points that I was experiencing. And as a result of that, I continued to want to go back. So in joining, I learned, and after, let's see, 98. So after being a member about 3 years, you I learned about a group of individuals. They were called, or they called themselves, the Azazian Moors. I don't know if you Moors ever heard of it, but that's what they were calling themselves, right? And at the time, it was people were, or the states were starting to crack down on men who were not paying child support, and basically they were revoking or suspending people's licenses. So this group, they were promoting, oh well, at the time, so around in the 2000s, the United States government, once you got a passport, you were able to get a international driver's license along with your passport. Um, and the government, United States government at least, was issuing those things out, and these group of Moors were promoting, oh, if your state license gets suspended, now you can utilize the international driver's license and say that you were a diplomat, right?
Mm.
And the gospel at that time in the temples were, or was, and still is, for that matter, is that the temple is not a place to harbor law violators.
That's
That's
right.
right.
You can't violate the law and then come into the temple and think that you're going to hide in the ranks and utilize the teachings of the temple to hide your wrongdoings. It's just not going to happen. We are a family oriented organization. We love our children, our women, and we love our other brothers and sisters. And the whole theme of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to make us better citizens.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And specifically citizens of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which in turn will make us better citizens of us living wherever government we find ourselves in. So in later years in studying, I started to find out about the Confederate United States and some of the tactics that those particular individuals were using once the Civil War was lost. And once you do a little bit of tracing back, you'll find out that some of this stuff that, like the government not having jurisdiction, uh, and some of the language that they're utilizing goes back to the Confederate United States. Now, what's the problem with that? it's a it's a in a sense, well, not in a sense, it's an oxymoron. It's like a double negative.
Right.
Um, we utilize one thing, but then people are going to try to we talk about slavery and how slavery lasted from 1779 to 1865, and then we turn, or when I say we, not specifically us, but our people turn around and go use something that the people who wanted slavery, they utilize that doctrine to say that they're freeing themselves, and I find that to be very, very interesting. Where did that concept, where did that come from?
Mm.
So that's just a little bit of history that I have um, with where it started being called sovereignty in later years, because after the Zazian Moors, then came it was a group, and if I'm not correct me, I might be wrong, but if you go back into the early like 2000s, Phil Valentine and
Mm-hmm.
a group of other individuals, they were practicing redemption or something like that, or
That's right. That's
and
right.
then this ball started rolling where now here comes you see the introduction of CM Bay's teachings,
Right.
um, and various other things, and now where we are today. So yeah.
That's right.
It's
And I'm
love.
glad you hit on that point in regards to the early 2000s because a lot, I don't know if they know, but a lot of, not even say a lot, but when you look at the sovereign citizen ideology, ultimately it came from a European Christian group
Yes, that's
known
right.
as the Posse
Christian.
Comitas,
Uh-huh.
which meant the power of the country, and it was from a guy by the name of William Potter Gale. Um,
Okay.
and everything, if you look at their whole format, their ideology and things of that nature, is based solely off of Eurocentric values. So as
Mm-hmm.
you stated earlier, the whole concept of a person, an Asiatic, with olive shade or olive hue, following a Eurocentric Christian supremacist, as they say, ideology or doctrine, it's an oxymoron. And as we say
Mm-hmm.
often, it's a dead cat on the line. Somebody's not telling the truth. I also like the fact that, and I'm gonna pass it over, and I'm gonna be brief with this. The fact that you brought up Sheikh Valance Bey, the teachings of CM Bey, because even when you look at that, I know Sheikh Maurice Pennington Bey, as well as Sheikh Clarence Prathiel, they've been hitting on the last last two series they've done on the fact that Moorish Americans are not Masons.
Yeah, that's right.
Not be, we're not Masons. No offense to anybody who practices that, but again, that's an oxymoron as well, and we're going to touch on that as well, relating to CM Bay and that whole thing. We're going to blow it out the water. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass it over. Whoever wants to go next, go ahead.
Islam, Sheikh. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up right now because this sovereign citizen ideology, this idea that the Moorish Science Temple of America is a Masonic order, all of it has the same spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the same spirit, and that spirit was not born with us. You
That's
know,
right.
the Asiatic who came here first. That spirit came here later. That's the same. That's the spirit that the 101s when it talks about those who are cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teaching.
That's right. Come
Mm-hmm.
on
All
now.
right. So when you start talking about that, you are a sovereign citizen and dealing in redemption, which I'm gonna qualify. I'm gonna say something else too, because but you're now accepting their teaching.
Mm,
Okay, these people they want to be rebels. They want to say that they want to be irresponsible.
that's right.
They want to say that they want the world given to them and everything in it for free. You understand what I'm saying? The
Islam.
sheep prayed the ill. He direct our attention to chapter number 15, where the tempter he takes the prophet Jesus up on. He say, look at the world and all its wealth.
That's right.
And he said, and listen to what he said though. He said, if you would give yourself to these, then these would be yours. But it's already yours though. You see, in
Mm-hmm.
the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Prophet Noble Joe Ali teaches us that we was foreordained to be the Lord of the plain and soul. So why am I going to do like Eve and allow for this serpent to tell me, to promise me what's mine? That's like taking my wallet and then telling me you can have your wallet if you give me your wallet. Like, but it's my wallet.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with these Masonic orders. Like everything and please, I don't know why we have to, tiptoe around and tell people that we are not here to offend anyone. We're telling you, as Moorish Americans, as sheiks in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we're telling you all that we are not
Yeah,
Masonic.
we're not Masons.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
come on
I'm
now.
not telling you that you don't that you're not a Mason. I'm not telling you that you don't that you know. I'm saying that we're not Masonic.
That's right.
We're trying to clear up the confusion about what we are about.
Mm-hmm.
So the reality is this now, and we have to say this because the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded for the uplifting of our people by a prophet that Allah sent to us.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Okay, so if you go into the lodge, and we're just gonna keep it plain, we're gonna keep it 100.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Do your thing.
Everything except for the people who built the buildings, it's ours anyway.
That's
Mm-hmm.
When you see this stuff, you should not be looking at us and saying, "Oh, them brothers got on fez is like the Masons." No, you should be saying the Masons got on fez is
just
like
like
the
the
Moors.
Moors. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to see that these people is walking around with your clothes on, and they done tricked you into putting on some clothes just because they want to sell it to you.
Right.
Real talk. Now,
That's
when
right.
it comes to the sovereign citizen stuff, the sad truth is, because I even thought it, when it was first given to me, it was given to me like it was law.
Mm-hmm.
Like it came into existence the same way that the Constitution did. Like it came into existence the same way that any statute that goes through proper channels get enacted. But then after I discovered, like, nah, these are some Europeans that work for a company called American Bulletin
That's right.
writing these books. And then when you read the fine print at the bottom of every page, they telling you that this is not legal advice.
It's a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
man. That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
now when you're taking this text, you taking this as if it was a textbook. And now you're studying it. I mean, because I know what I did it. I spent thousands of dollars on that stuff.
Hmm.
Redemption manuals, cracking the code, Garcia briefs, all of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking from experience.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm speaking from experience, and it did not square. And then I'm also a business law student. So when we talk about the Uniform Commercial Code, what it is exactly what it says that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial codes were uniform so
Hmm.
that all the states could easily do business with one another.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Because every state has its own government, they have their own legislators. They was creating laws and stuff that might be contrary to the state next door. But through the act of incorporation, everybody through government action can create a
Right.
corporation.
Come
Mm-hmm.
on,
But
man.
it was too difficult for your corporation, domestic in Maryland, to do business with my corporation, domestic in Illinois. So the commercial codes were uniform. That's the purpose of it.
That's right.
Now, when you're trying to, that's like me trying to take a hammer and stand on it so I can reach a higher height. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what hammers is used for. All right.
That's right.
So
Good
the
analogy.
Prophet Noble Ali teaches us the importance of keeping things in their context. You know what I mean? Truth is truth,
That's right.
falsehood is falsehood, and everything in the middle is questionable. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
that's for me. And but the Masonic thing though, Moors, like that's dangerous.
Hmm.
Oh man.
It's,
Eh,
it's a lot more dangerous. See, the the sovereign citizen movement has metamorphosed a lot. Now people,
mhm.
they still have the same ideology. They still, doing the same things, but they'll tell you, well, I'm not in the sovereign citizen movement. That's
Mhm.
where that's where you start looking at this gumbo of falsehood. The
Hmm.
Mhm.
CMA teachings, the Christian identity
Christianity.
teachings,
That's right.
all of this
Mhm.
stuff is a gumbo of falsehood. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But the Masonic demonstration
Mhm.
is dangerous
That's right.
Mhm. You better believe it.
That's right,
because
man.
you cannot serve two masters.
That's right.
Eh,
I had a brother tell me today
mhm.
that there's no masters in Masonry.
Mm. Wow.
But don't they have an officer whose title is worshipful master?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Don't they tell you that they have secrets that they gonna keep these secrets? Whose secret is it you keeping if you don't have a master?
Right.
And see, and I'm in my mind, I'm saying like, how do you go for this?
Mm.
Like that's that Negro problem, Moors.
That's right.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's the man behind the curtain, man. The man behind the curtain. The great Oz. Shooting.
And
Yeah.
and she's Pennington Bay, right? Just like we have sacred the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have sacred things,
That's
right?
right.
Yes.
Not secret, but they are sacred.
Hmm.
And the reason that they are sacred because people will take it and they'll try to utilize it. So the Masonic organization, I'm glad you said that is dangerous, right? Because you can't go into or you can't pretend that you are a part of that order because some of the uh, oaths and things that they take are sacred to them.
Hmm.
And if they have people that they consider to be clandestine,
Hmm.
and what happened to, you can look in ancient Egypt and those people who broke the sacred rites that were put on to those particular tombs. You can look at all those people who broke those sacred rites and took artifacts and things out of those chambers. We can pretty much read about what happened to them. So what do you think is going to happen to you if you are pretending that you are Masonic, or if you, like you say, you can't serve two masters, because from what I understand, the same time that their meeting times are is the same time that the Moorish Americans hold their meeting. So
Hmm.
how you gonna be? How
Two.
you going two places at one time?
That's right.
So stop. They have their own thing, and they are doing things according to how their law was set up, and they do not play about it.
No,
And you know, yeah, it's not, the. And on another note, I'm gonna share something sacred for all those who think that Prophet Noble Ali was a Mason or a Shriner. Why don't you write to the Masonic Museum and ask, can you find his name on any of their rolls,
That's right.
and see what you get back? I guarantee you that his name is nowhere, has never been there, and that's he's not Masonic, and he wasn't a Shriner.
That's right.
So you know that's what I'll say for all those who would try to refute that he is, and what he, some of the things that we do, people, because they've never visited Moorish Science Temple of America, to ask the question about, for example, on the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, how the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is positioning himself. That's not a Masonic pose.
not at all.
That's not. Um, his hand is not covered.
That's right.
Okay, so therefore it is a different position. So these are just some of the things that in order for you to understand the Moorish Science Temple of America, you have to come to a Moorish Science Temple of America and ask about them, and not try to take our information out and think because you've been a member 1 year, 2 years, 40 years of that you have all of the teachings and mastered all of the lessons, because just like Jesus spent a lifetime in the sacred grove, we have to do the same thing. So yeah, praise Allah.
Praise Allah. And like you said earlier, you said that they don't play around with it.
Mm-mm.
And I know we got a letter. I can go for it. You want me to go for it?
Oh yeah, read that letter.
Okay. Give me 1 second. We're gonna go right to the letter so they can see. We like to pull up various different artifacts and things of that nature. Give me one
And,
second.
and once again, we're not
Not
speaking
bashing.
radical.
We ain't
This is public information. You can one night I was doing some research, and I don't know how, but this letter had popped up, and I said, "Wow!" And I printed it out. You know, and
And
that
just
was just a law lead me to you know what the truth of the matter is.
let me say something too,
Hmm.
because I am pretty sure that the Moors, or I mean the Asiatics and the Europeans as well, who were in those orders,
Hmm.
had a great deal of respect for the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Oh yeah, for
They
sure.
had a great deal of respect for him, and and then without a question, they recognized that he was a master, that he was who he said he was.
That's
You
That's
right.
know,
right.
so today there is a confusion, and it comes from because of what you just said. We don't go like I'm a student. I mean,
Hmm.
hands down, I am a student. I wherever there's an opportunity for me to learn, I'm taking it. You understand? So a lot of people haven't spent nearly enough time to realize what they have, Mo.
Hmm.
So that's why they don't understand. They come only thing they doing is they just what their eyes is taking in. They not
Hmm.
exercising their five, so they don't know, what they got. They
Hmm.
see, they just see the phases, they see the stances, and they relate it to masonry or something else.
Strategy. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's just because it takes some time, but
Hmm.
it don't take that much time to get an idea
Hmm.
about how bright this light is, though.
Oh yeah, for
It
sure.
just take a little bit of effort, just a little bit.
Yeah. We're unable to pull the letter up, but I'm going to pull it up on the next segment. But we pulled it up
Okay.
before.
Yeah, yeah. We
I'll
pull.
read it. I mean, I can read it while we looking at it, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
would
you
prefer
can
people,
read it, and
who
we
have seen
and the
it.
next time, right, when we do have the opportunity,
Mhm.
because I think this subject it can. I mean, we could go several episodes, right? Because um, when you look at um, the Uniform Commercial Code, that didn't begin until 1942. That's
That's
like some years and years after the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was off the scene.
Mhm.
So that can't be so. Now, when you look at the Shriner organization, that wasn't in America until after slavery. And in all actuality, when that organization came into existence, um, you'll find out that it was an organization that was, for the most part, well, not for the most part, but it in a sense, it gives our ancestors who was in this part of the world and in Africa some reverence, but also it's making fun of them as well.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So, um, all at the same time, the regalia that they wear, um, and let the truth be told. And I've never taken any oaths. I've never been a part of any of those organizations. This is based off of my research and reading that masonry, you don't even wear a fez until you get to the Shriner organization. And
Mhm.
then once you get to the Shriner organization, it's really not a fez. It's because it's disfigured.
Disfigured. That's
It
right.
has all the markings and and we don't, as you can see, we don't do that.
Mhm.
So when you put those things next to one another, you can see that they're diametrically opposed to one another, right? So just sharing.
Praise the law. And then also you just look at, just basic structure. So when the prophet came on the scene, the prophet, as you mentioned earlier, Sheikh Bilaz Bey, he explicitly spelled out the purpose of our organization to
For
help in
sure.
a great program of uplifting fallen humanity and making our members better citizens. He goes into letting us know that our organization was a national organization with a Rotarian complexion.
hmm
So a complexion like the Rotary, but then again, it's not the Rotary. It's not the Shrine organization. It's not a Masonic order, but he tells you that it's related to the branch temples that we had at that time,
That's
and
right.
even down to this time. Starting with those 15 temples at that time, and then those temples that sprang from those 15, and then you look at how the movement, the organization itself, transformed or went through a transformation or transfiguration from a civic organization to a
hmm
religious organization, and the fact that we had a religious corporation and an affidavit being filed in the county of Cook, in the county of Cook in Illinois, it shows you there's a distinct difference between a Masonic order or any type of clandestine order in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Our
hmm
organization is predicated on the uplifting of our people and humanity in its totality. It's
hmm
not a secret organization. As you can see, as you stated before, and the first thing you said that we're family oriented. Our family
hmm
members are all in our meetings, our wives, our children, because we're all members of the Moorish Science Temple of
Yeah,
America.
that's right.
That's not what you find in those orders. I know someone in particular, an individual I know close. This person was petitioning to join that order, and his wife couldn't come to. She couldn't even come to certain
No.
functions and things of that nature. So
hmm
she scratched her head like, how is it that you're going somewhere, but I'm unable to go? And from that point on, praise a lot. The brother just said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. But he battled me on it. When I told him, I was like, man, look, that's not the way to go. He was he was
Man, I
firm
wish
on,
I
hey,
would tell
this
my
is what
wife
I'm going to
she
do,
can't
and
go to my
a
meeting.
wake up call, because again, we walk side by side. We're
Yeah, that's right.
That's what we do. That's how we were raised.
Right.
My wife can't go somewhere. I'm not going. That's just what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Same thing with my children.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
but the brother he had to learn the hard way,
hmm
and again, I'm glad that he came to his senses. But he had to see it, in real time. So praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like I was saying, I wish I would come home and tell my wife I'm going to a meeting and she can't go.
yeah.
Man, she
Yeah.
You probably see me coming with my shirt facing black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
Yep.
yeah,
um,
praise Allah.
Boy.
I was just looking at one of the comments right here. I think that's either the Sheik Brown Neal or Renee Seed, Sheik Renee Seed, where you say, Mo man, not only do they have masters, they have grand masters.
Oh, that's Sheik Thompson. That's Grand Sheik Thompson, baby. Yep.
She Thompson Bay Islam. Anthony Sayre was elected grand master.
Wow.
So
Praise
this
Allah.
these things, and that goes to show you where the problem lies. It's not only that they don't spend enough time in the Moorish Science Temple of America when they come in to learn what this is about, but they're not even spending time there learning what that's about.
Hmm.
So this is the Quran tells us that attention is the pilot that must conduct the entire port. We got to pay attention, man.
Yeah,
Right.
We
that's
got to
right.
pay attention. Like
That's
that's
right.
that's that's an issue. That's part of the Negro problem, oh.
Hmm.
We,
Hmm.
we want it. We want it. That's why when people going, a lot of our people go into those orders because they looking at the promises.
That's right.
It's,
Hmm.
it's rich in promises.
Pouring
You
money.
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? It's rich in promises. I have these people calling me and inboxing me, and everywhere I go, the Elks Lodge is 1 block from the temple, right here in Peoria. Our temple is 1 block away. Every time these brothers see me, man, we need a good brother like you. We need a good brother like you. And I tell you, man, we could use some good brothers like y'all.
That's right.
We could
Hmm.
definitely use our people could use some good brothers like y'all. I'm not about coming up in there sitting in there with y'all and while my people out here in the streets need.
Come on.
You
That's right.
understand me?
Hmm.
Like this is the difference. See, they rich in promises. They want the wealth. They want the pleasures. They don't want to do the work though.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We trying to build. We trying to build something that we can all enjoy. You see, these more talk about their families. It's how
Hmm.
we going to temple, man. Going to temple, man. My wife come, man. What? I'm saying, like, man, she ain't trying to hear that.
Right. That's
Hmm.
I can't go. What y'all got going on up in there?
Yeah, like brother, Grand Sheikah's Lomax page just said, if I can't go, he
right.
talked about her husband. He can't
You
go.
understand me?
Because
That's crazy.
listen, man, woman, and child, but specifically man and woman, that's a supreme symbol,
That's
right?
right.
Islam.
Man, is a reflection of Allah, but man is behalf
That's
and
right.
woman is behalf. And when you put those two symbols together, right, talking about man and woman, that is the supreme symbol, and that is actually literally a manifestation of Allah here on earth,
That's right.
right? So yeah, so
Hey,
praise Allah,
you
man.
say that it made me think when I first I joined the temple, I used to studying my Bible, and I noticed that in Genesis that Allah had made all these things for Adam, right?
Hmm.
He made all these things for him. None of the things that make him happy. So he put Adam to sleep. And right then and I say he had to put him to sleep so he could take his sweetest dream. He took his sweetest dream and he gave him that.
That's right.
And
Hmm.
he woke up and he say, man, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone.
Hmm.
Call her one man because she came from man.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Like that. That was to me. That was just the way that's the way I looked at it. So you say the supreme symbol, like these is the things when we in the more science of America when we looking at symbologies, and signs and symbols. That's the most supreme symbol right there.
That's right.
The
Hmm.
unity of
Praise
that
Allah.
household. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
right.
that's
Mhm.
that's what our nation is made out of. Our families.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
That's
For
the
sure.
foundation. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, she Thompson
Praise
Bay
Allah.
said, and I agree with what he said in the comments. He said, "Well, Grand Sheikh's Lomax Bay said they are a party organization, very
Oh,
much so.
good time.
Very
Yeah,
much
good
so.
time, boys.
Yeah, we run into them,
Yeah.
passing by, in the streets and things of that nature." She Thompson Bay says one of the problems is that Moors don't stick and stay long enough to get the high lessons of the prophet that are not taught in public meetings.
Hmm.
Very true.
Very true.
When they are finally exposed to those degrees, they give credit to the Masons. The glory and
Hmm.
shame has been misplaced. That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Or,
Uh, go ahead. Go ahead.
excuse me, or also, Mo, if a Mobite's mind is not ready for a specific lesson,
Yeah,
and the senior teacher, does not teach that lesson, in all actuality, he's always teaching it. it may not just be directly teaching it, but because we can't comprehend or we're not paying attention, like Sheik Pennington Bay stated, and the master who came before us can see our bent of our inclination, and when they teach it in a way where we don't comprehend it, now some of us we get the king or queen baby syndrome, and then we start spreading situations like, oh, that's that's Masonic and
Yeah,
that
teaching up.
and
Yeah,
all these other type of one of my favorite words, goofy stuff, right?
Yes,
Um, but we just need to do what we need to do. Also, I have. We're not saying that the people who belong to those orders or organizations are bad people. Some of them are victims of circumstance because they don't know any better. However, some of them do know, the history of the Moorish Science Temple and etc. And um, or for whatever reason don't teach about it or don't decide to come and join or whatever the case may be. And I have family members who high knockers,
high knockers. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
and I'm not interested in becoming a member of it, so yeah, praise Allah.
Praise the Lord.
Islam.
Yep.
Islam. You know something too? The Sheik Thompson Bay, he talked about, Moors don't stick and stay. And then also, something that I noticed since I came home is with the social media stuff, and you got so
Oh
many people, on YouTube claiming that they teaching ADEP degrees and stuff like
Right.
that. And I want to just say this, and and I'm just speaking from my short experience
yeah.
with YouTube and all that right now, and internet, Facebook, all of that stuff. Right, first time I ever seen the internet was in 2018. I had a
Mhm.
year with it. I got caught with my cell phone. They put me someplace where I couldn't get another cell phone until I came home in 2024 until now. Right,
Mm-hmm.
so I have never. I'm telling y'all, I have never seen a A-depth lesson taught on internet.
I agree.
Mhm.
I'm telling everybody out there in the world that stuff is not that's not it. All
That's right.
right.
That's right.
If you want it, you have to be humble. Like you got to be humble. You got to go and deal with sheiks who can teach you this stuff, but they not gonna teach it to you if you don't prove that you worthy. And that
Mhm.
goes for every one of us can attest to that. We could
That's right.
attest to and just having going through the process and how important it is. And then for me, just being a baby in it. Even though I've been in the temple going on 20 years.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like this, you have to stick and stay, and at the same time, you doing this for you and your family. And that's another thing too, like we gotta make it clear why we here.
That's right.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
gotta we gotta understand what do you want? Like again, what I said, that is rich in promises. This has a purpose. The uplifting the fallen humanity, teaching our members those things that would make them better citizens.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? To clean it, to purify ourselves, so to no longer be influenced by foreign things. Turn within, let Allah guide us. See, this is a purpose. So if you come to the Moorish Science Temple, I don't come and join the temple and be like, hey, I'm going to go in the temple. That's going to help me get rich.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? I come into Moorish Science Temple of America and saying, this is going to help me get my life in order. This is going to save me from the cares of the world. Because right now, that stuff out there going to kick your butt.
That's right.
Man,
That's right. Come on now. That's
You
right.
know what I
indeed.
mean? So all that, all them, and I got family members, bro. Look, I'm telling y'all, I'm from Chicago all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew Masons. I knew many Masons when I was a little kid. I had almost all the other little guys on my block. If they mothers and fathers weren't gang members, they were Masons and Eastern Stars.
Mhm.
All right.
Right.
So every year, we would go to the Dan Ryan Park, Dan Ryan Woods, to the Prince Hall family gathering when I was a little kid. And so I knew when I seen Fez, even the Moors that I saw, I automatically thought that they was Masons.
Right.
Mhm.
because so I can understand how people that don't know about the Moorish Science Temple of America can think that we are Masons when they see us. But I don't understand how you a member.
Mm.
That's the part that's getting me. And
Right.
then not only that, Mo, but I done, I was talking to the Sikh Pray Deal about it more. I done, visiting with temples and then and sitting in our temple.
Mm-hmm.
Not here, not in my this temple, not the temple.
Mhm.
Nah.
Right.
I'm talking about, prior to and had officers, Mo. We in Sunday school, we going over chapter 5, and they saying this is Masonic, and I'm like, stop
Mm,
it.
wow.
I said, first and foremost, the prophet is very intentional. He says
Mhm.
symbolic meaning of carpenter's tools.
Right.
Mhm.
This is two different sciences, y'all.
Mhm.
You understand me? And I just want to say this, y'all. Masons, they build beautiful structures. They are responsible for some of the greatest architecture that the world has ever seen,
Mhm.
without question.
That's right.
When you talk about carpentry, though, even when the mason builds these beautiful structures, the work that's done on the inside is done by carpenters.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
You understand me?
That's right.
So when we talking about the work that's done on the inside,
Mhm.
because this what he said. He said these tools remind me of the ones we had in the workshop of the mind,
That's
where
right.
things are made of thought and where we build up character.
That's right.
He's talking about doing work on the inside.
Mhm.
You
And
know,
I'm glad,
That's a
Sheik.
good
I'm
one.
glad you brought that point up, right? Because because in masonry you have speculative and operative, right? Operative are the ones who actually the ones who are out there that we see all the beautiful brickwork and things of this nature. Speculative are those who join the organization, whether they're in a function or operation or actual trade of it. Um, they go join the organization and they speculative. Now, in operative masonry, which is the actual physical building of structures, um, before a mason can even come and do anything, first he needs the carpenter to lay the frame
Mm-hmm.
before they can pour the foundation of the cement and things of this nature. So, and then after that, of course, the carpenter comes back and builds the other aspects of the framing of the structure so that the rest of the building can go up.
Islam.
Yeah.
And something else too, Mo. That's just one lesson.
Yeah, that's just one.
So
You
Right.
know what I mean? So when we talk about in the Moorish Science Temple of America, you talking about, man, we like you said, we sit here forever and we constantly learning.
that's right.
We every year that we stay in the Moorish Science Temple of America, how many new degrees we get?
Man.
Right.
You understand what I'm
Unmeasurable.
Lessons
Yeah.
unfold, man. They
That's
unfold.
why we look at our elders like the Sikh Pray Deal and the Sikhs Pray Deal and some of these other elders, and we be like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
because they done accumulated so much knowledge, and they constantly growing and being made better and stronger by teaching it to us.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Fortification.
So this ain't no one thing that's over once you hit 33rd, and then Albert Pike tried to add a
Yeah.
third.
Yeah, we went over it.
He
Yeah.
tried to make
Yeah.
it's that's they that's a broken cipher. You know what I mean? But he be demonstrating that. But I mean, man, I pray for the day. I pray for the day, and I know it's gonna come where the Moors and the Asiatics will understand what the Prophet of Petrali put on us.
That's right, man.
I
Praise
mean,
Allah.
Takes my mind back to chapter 48 when the prophet says, returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations. Because when you're
yeah.
dealing with that organization, that's a Christian order, man. You know what I'm saying? It's predicated
Yeah.
on earthly salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, uh, I was talking to one of the Moors, and I had to make it plain for him, and he was like, well, they got the church for their earthly salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I said, yeah, but like, keep it 100 with how many good Christians amongst them.
That's a good question.
I say, so when we talk about earthly salvation, we're talking about worldly things. Again, we talking about blood going up. So you know what? The earthly salvation comes from not from them being good Christians, but it comes from them getting you to be a good Christian.
Come on now.
Mhm. Mhm.
It comes from them getting you to think that this thing that they got that's yours and that they rationing out to you
Mhm.
is actually theirs, and you want to sit at that table instead of get to the great meeting because the great meeting is on. You need to get there.
That's
Mhm.
right.
But you want to, and this is the thing. The prophet Noble, he make this stuff plain for the Moors. He like, listen, man, we got something that's for our earthly and our divine salvation.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is something that we can enjoy. This is something that we can enjoy being a part of. This is something that our children can just be, grow up and don't have to worry about nothing but making their dreams come true.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like my wife said, she said, people want views on social platforms, and they know people are searching,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? And they take or try to take our teachings, um and they put the muck and mire on it, and basically start selling it for that for the they're bringing our people to a demise while they're getting, or so they at least they think they're getting rich off of it, or whatever the case may be, not knowing that they have to pay for that, you know some way, form, or fashion, whether it's in this world or the next.
Yeah. Looking at Brother Schoolville,
He's
saying
saying.
that we should be moving and thinking on the same level as Indian chief tribes and the Roman Catholic Church and have the same amount of schools, churches, and buildings and businesses, organizations that they have. We should have the same amount of lawyers, doctors, and surgeons and pharmacies that they have. I would agree. I think where he's going with the idea of the Roman Catholic Church possibly being a theocracy, which I've heard before. Some Moorish Americans have demonstrated that, and I agree. But however, I think it's not even a however point. I think it goes back to what the Sheik Eric Thompson Bay was saying earlier is the fact that the problem is that Moors don't stick and stay long enough
Hmm.
to get the basic lessons. Like,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying basic, I'm saying fundamental lessons, the fundamental teachings of the prophet, as we call it, the ABCs of more science, and then also those higher lessons.
Hmm.
Because you take those fundamental lessons as well as those higher lessons that you'll learn by sticking and staying, it'll make you more appreciative, and then you'll find that everything that you're looking for outside, as has been stated um, time and time again throughout this panel, is the fact that it's already within inside of you and it's already within inside the temple. You know, we were just myself and Sheik Pennington Bay before we came on the air. We were just talking about what we do as far as our professions, and that's a great point, brother. School.
Hmm.
I'm an educator. I've been in like my field is education. I've been in it for a decade now, and I've
Hmm.
been working myself up by qualifying myself to not only be an educator in the current system now that I'm in, but
Hmm.
ultimately moving forward to make something tangible for our people.
Yeah.
I agree. Yep, and that's the right there. That's the point right there. Moderation. I'm glad you
Uh-huh.
brought that word up, moderation, because that's one of the biggest issues that we find is for our people is the fact that we love excess, and it kind of goes back to what
Hmm.
Sheik was saying earlier in regards to that Christian identity or that Christian value. Everything is based off of excess.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he said you can't claim to be a more achieve and derive primary existence from a government entity. That is a broken cipher. Have the soap and all you need. I have okay. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. We can talk offline about that if you have certain resources and things that we can definitely sit down,
Hmm.
have a meeting of minds.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
yeah. Because let the truth be told, we are progressive, and when we say progressive, for example, like you said, how you went into the profession of education, right? So,
I bring you before before you get there.
uh,
When I came into the temple, I wasn't even an educator.
well,
When
you
I came
know,
into the temple, hold on. When I came into the temple, I didn't have a dime to my name, a dollar to my pocket. I just finished college, and honestly, and I give him honor, it was a Sheik Eric Thompson Bay who put me down with his delivery company, and I was doing deliveries. from
Mm-hmm.
doing the deliveries for him when he was doing packaging deliveries of medicines is how you and I became close because we did a delivery together. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
We hit it off. And from that point on, we've been rocking and rolling since then. But the thing
Right.
is, that's how we do as a community. That's what community building is. And also because we had teachers, as it was stated earlier, our elders, some
Mm-hmm.
are in the form, some have transitioned out of the form. They saw our talents and gifts and abilities within us, and they honed it and fashioned in on it, and they gave us that push.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just wanted to bring that point out. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's a great point. And
Yep.
for example, my wife can tell you, right?
Yep.
She's always been a health advocate, right?
Praise the Lord.
And then she started wanting to know more. So as a result of that, she started studying and she became a certified juice therapist,
Mhm.
right? And you know, we know when she does the health segments, uh, or even things that she tell me to do, I listen. Because I know about juicing, but she's a certified juice therapist. It's just like us as sheiks, we are certified. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Tried and true. And we're not telling people something. We're telling people from life experience. We're telling people from our years of experience actually sitting in a physical live temple, right?
Right.
Actually reading the lessons. And I ain't been perfect all I mean, and I'm not perfect till this day, but what I'm saying is there have been situations where I do something that's out of pocket, and the elder had to crack my head, not with physically, but had to tell me like, Mo, what's your problem,
Right.
and I praise Allah for want or needing correction and being able to humble myself and take an objective look and make the corrections where they need to be made. So um that's what it's all about. Like you said, we need to bring our talents and build something, because that's what other nationalities have done in this part of the world, and they work together. And despite whatever their problems, issues, or circumstances are, they work together. So we're solution oriented, and we are progressive in our thinking, and this is why we do some of the shows that we do, to help not only to get people thinking, but we're moving with a very intended goal to be able to create um, a, not only a platform, but to create a environment where we make the Moorish Science Temple of America what we want to see,
Hmm.
according to the system of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Right. So praise Allah.
Praise the Lord.
You said that several times, and that's important too, according to the system of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And that's when it comes to these various ideas that people have, and associating it with the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's another issue too. They don't know that the, the all of what we do, all of what we do is according to the rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
That's
That's
right.
So
right.
you're not going to be able to go into and come back and say, well, the business law and the legal environment textbook of 2018 says this. That don't matter to us.
Doesn't apply, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It don't apply.
Like that. This is according to the rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Like, and when everybody's screaming sovereign, everybody's screaming, nation building, but you don't want to be responsible for governing yourself and following your own rules and elevating and going through a process established by you.
Mhm.
You want to go and get somebody that was. I studied a lot of movements when I was locked up. Listen, Sheiks, I studied a lot. And one of the movements that I studied a lot for a while was the Black Panther
Okay.
Party. You look at these young Asiatics, and we know how powerful Asiatics are. The determination, the Prophet Noble Ali tells us to be industrious. Diligence is a high degree. That's a real high degree. Endurance, these high degrees. They had that. So we say, well, how the heck did they go wrong? because they had European
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
textbooks. You understand me? They was following
Right.
Marx
Mm-hmm.
and all them. They wasn't they them European textbooks ain't gonna solve their problem. We ain't solving the Negro problem with that stuff.
That's right.
You know, that so our system, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's system, is important. And if you saying you are a Moorish American, you really want to be a Moorish American, and I believe wholeheartedly, all deep in my heart, the she can see Breeze Bay, she get on me all the time
Me too.
Everybody, yeah,
because she get on me all the time because because she very stern. The truth is stern. Like we understand that, but the truth is stern. And she get on me all the time, and she be like, I'm these Moors, and they not right." And I tell her, give
that's
them
right.
time, and give them guidance. So even though y'all see us, we speaking like this because this is a plea. Like when the prophet made a plea to the nations, this right here is a plea. We making a plea to our people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, be yourself.
That's right.
The prophet began to uplift us by teaching us to be ourselves. You ain't gonna begin to be uplifted until you start to strive towards being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stay in all them orders and keep on following them Europeans, with a rebellious, what the prophet Noble Ali said, undesirables get
Mistreatments
Cast
and
they,
abuses.
they
That's
get
right. The
yeah,
decisions
they
there
get
bestowed.
abuses,
mistreatments.
mistreatments, any abuses,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
whatever mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow
Mm-hmm.
upon you. So they're going to keep on writing laws to punish what you're
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
doing. And the laws are going to get stricter and stricter and stricter. So stop
Mm-hmm.
it. You understand me? Like, don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. There's the National Defense Authorization Act. Most people, if you know the term National Defense Authorization Act, the number one thing you can associate it with is, hey, this is where the government's funding
Mm-hmm.
comes through. But it's a lot
That's right.
more to that. The National Defense Authorization Act gives the sitting president the authority to lock a person up without trial
That's right.
indefinitely under the conditions that they are a rebel, a friend of a rebel, a terrorist, or a friend of
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
terrorist.
Sure.
These groups, these sovereign citizen groups, are rebels,
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
terrorists. So any sitting president at any given time could send their troops out and say, go and lock all of them up. None of your paperwork and your filings can get into court because you're locked up indefinitely without trial. And we know, I don't know, we need to start, y'all studying everything except for the
Mm-hmm.
consequences. When I was out there selling dope, I was selling dope, and then next thing you know, I got locked up, and I realized that I had did one of the dumbest things that a human can do. I invested my money, my time, and my energy, and ultimately my freedom in a business that I didn't know nothing about. I did not know what the consequences were. So when that judge went to talking about all that time, I was like, "What? Why am I shocked?" And I'm out here doing it. Which one of us is going to go and start a business that we don't
Mm-hmm.
understand? You're gonna put your money into some, and you're gonna go invest your money into a business. That's what y'all doing because you steady looking at the
Mm-hmm.
promise. It ain't but nothing but a promise. And when you bite into that apple,
That's a good one,
bitterness
bro.
and gall.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Yeah, and to address MW, you know, just we will give out our email address, and we'll promote um Moorish business, right? We'll promote Moorish business. um but what we would also like to see is that um my wife, she's an entrepreneur, right?
Too.
And we know that entrepreneurship is a very important piece in the Moorish world. But also, with the promoting of your Moorish business or your business in general, we're not saying our temple or whatever, but please send some type of donation to a temple to support them, because we would like to support Moorish business. We love to support Moorish business, But send a donation to a temple of your choice to ensure that they are, that they are able to do some of the things that they need to do, um, with our promotion of your business, right? Um, so this is what it's all about. Fair exchange ain't no is no
Robbery.
robbery.
That's right.
So we will promote it. We will promote it. Um, so just to address that aspect of it.
Yeah. Glad the point that Sheik Pennington Bay brought out in regards to the terrorism aspect. I don't even know if a lot of people even really realize that
Hmm.
the sovereign citizens movement is actually considered and classified as they're actually classified as
Paper
paper
tariffs.
terrorists.
Yeah, that's right.
And even if you look at, like, I was looking at a document by way of HUD, Housing and Urban Development, where
Uh
it gets sketchy is the fact that you have a portion in there where it states that if a person carries the title noble, but also if they have ill or bay affixed to their name, they put out a memorandum that these individuals are under the sovereign citizens movement. So that
hmm
goes back to what we've been discussing through the course of this dialogue, the fact that a lot of things have been skewed and it's very murky. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And ultimately, what we're doing right now is that we're clearing up or we're bringing peace out of confusion as it relates to who we are, what our organization, the Prophets Organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America, is predicated on, and what we don't subscribe to. Uh,
hmm
and as let's looking at the comments, I wouldn't necessarily want to go in and generalize that people aren't up to date on what's happening on worldly affairs, because many of us are. Like, one thing I love to do, I love watching, not just watching, but detailing, outlining international news, but also dealing with foreign policy and things of that nature as well. I
hmm
think that uh, part of the reason why, going to MW's comment, that Moorish Americans may not support other Moorish Americans is the point that you're hitting on, Sheik. But also, I think it's a little skepticism, and I think it also has to do with
hmm
the fact that many of us don't even believe in ourselves. So therefore,
Oh,
we may look at our brothers and sisters with a raised eyebrow,
for
and then
sure.
also we get into the issue of, and it's a video circulating from Grand Sheik's Betty Prayed the Ill, of how we compartmentalize, and we kind of get into that tribalism aspect.
Hmm.
So I seen a comment earlier talking about tribalism, but we're trying to get away from tribalism,
Yeah,
and that's
that's right.
really what the Prophet Dry League brought us away from. This is why
Hmm.
our nationality is Moorish American. Um,
Hmm.
I had a dialogue with a brother online the other day, and he was stating that, oh no, we're not Moorish American. I'm like, whoa, what you saying? Are you wiser than the Prophet? I mean, the Prophet Noble Dry League, not only is he a true and divine prophet, but he sets the blueprint, the template, the foundation, and
Hmm.
ultimately, if it wasn't for Prophet Noble Dry League, you wouldn't even know your nationality. You wouldn't even know that you were a Moorish American.
Right. And the questionnaire says, "What is his nationality,
It's Moorish American.
and what is your nationality?"
Moorish American.
Yeah, So
Say Moorish, and I'm not trying to. Well,
yeah,
the
no,
Moorish,
you working?
she said it earlier, so I'm gonna step
Hmm.
on some toes. The prophet doesn't say Moorish national. He doesn't say Moorish consulate. He doesn't say any of these things. He said this is the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's founded by Prophet Noble Dry Lee, and the Prophet Noble Dry Lee created a system to take the Negro, the Black, and the Colored, take them individuals from that what's that 3/5, and give them that whole 5/5, which is
Hmm.
That's right.
their nationality and also their birthrights, their descent, the religion, and everything else that
Hmm.
comes along with it.
Praise
So
Allah.
when you look at it, that's one of the issues. But the Sheik's about to hit right where I was going to, the Moorish literature. So go right ahead, Sheik. Islam.
Islam. I want to say, I'm a camelback ride with the Sea Lands Bay, and demonstrate that um, it is the all good members. It is our duty. It is our duty to contribute to the uplifting of fallen humanity in the form of finances whenever we can. The Prophet Noble Ali said that if you are working, you must pay your dues. You must pay your dues. And I want to read something that the Prophet Noble Ali demonstrated in his historical message. He says right here, he say, our men, women, and children should be taught to believe in the capacity of our group to succeed in
That's right.
business in spite of the trials and failures of some of them. Trials and failures in business are by no means confined to any particular group of people. Some business ventures of all people fail. We have many men and women among our people who are qualified both by training and experience, who are shining lights in the business world of all the people. It is a sad weakness in us as a people that we have withheld the very encouragement, support, and patronage that would have made some of our worthy business ventures a grand
Mm-hmm.
success. But he finna qualify all this. He says, and worst of all, have joined in the condemnation of them when they fail, except in cases of actual dishonesty, discourtesy, lack of service, and actual unreliability. Our business enterprises in every field of endeavor should have full fullness of confidence, cooperation, and patronage whenever, wherever they can
That's
be
right.
given. All right. But we have a system that makes us know the members who we can
That's right.
trust.
That's right. Come on now.
We have a system. The Prophet Noble Ali said that if you pay your dues, he said that if you are a part of all uplifted acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America, if you are make all your means promptly, then you are entitled
Okay.
to the name
That's right.
That's right.
faithful. We have a system. Okay, the prophet, and this is the problem. So it's not that because if whenever I know that faithful Moorish American, a faithful member, has any product or service that I need, I'm not even going to consider going to
Mm-hmm.
somebody else first. But we need to know that you're faithful though. Because I'm not going to sit here on my platform. The platform is this platform is the Moorish Sins channel. My platform is the Moorish Science Temple of
That's right.
America. I'm not going to bring your products and your services on my platform
Mm-hmm.
if I don't know that you are a faithful
That's right.
member or striving and trying your hardest to be one. We just can't
Yeah,
do
that's
that
right.
because it ain't about me. It ain't about
That's
these
right.
sheets. It's about the people who we
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
serve.
Right.
I'm not finna. I can't let you. I can't let you harm the prophet's
Mm-hmm.
children. We
That's
can't do
right.
that. So that's what goes all back for the whole conversation. Talk about the rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the system that the prophet Noble tried to establish. If when you want to be a part of it, you want the privileges, you want all of the benefits and the birthrights that comes with citizenship, you got to be a citizen. You got to be a
Mm-hmm.
member
Mm-hmm.
of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Like the sheet just said, not the Moorish consulate. Mo, oh man, y'all was talking about CMB.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me tell y'all something. Hey, so I read everything. I read all of the books that say Moorish Science Temple of America. I read all of the books. When I first came to Temple, if it the author had the ear or bay, I gotta read the book. So I heard about the Clock of Destiny. So I'm like, I have my people, hey, send me the Clock of Destiny. I sat down, I didn't do anything. They sent me part one and two. I sat down, I opened up these books. I think I read them about 4 or 5 times each before I even moved again. And when I set them aside, I got a pen and a paper, and it came from I think it was like the Moorish College or something where the books come from. And I sat down and I wrote the letter, and I said, first of all, this brother says that he is a Moorish American, but not one time in this book did he get honor to the Prophet
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali. And I said, and nowhere in this have I found any more signs. First of all, he says that he is a Moorish master constitutional lawgiver, 720-degree master mason. See, we got they say that they say that the Satan give himself the title
Mm-hmm.
of
Right.
Mm-hmm.
God. You understand? So when people start giving themselves all these lofty, giving
Mhm.
themselves all these lofty titles, man, look out,
Mhm.
Moors. But if you ain't learned, if you ain't the prophet is a warner. If you ain't paying attention to the warning, then you gonna have to feel the
Yeah,
wrath.
well, that's true.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
praise Allah.
Praise
Well,
Allah. So we wanted to conclude. So I guess the question we could put out there now, because I don't see any more comments in the chat. Um, so what's the solution? What solution? Like, what are the solutions? Because we are all three of us have been in the temple for quite some time now, right?
Mhm.
And we all one thing I really appreciate about us giving everyone our backdrop and our story, even though they probably heard it on the More Sense channel, even though they probably heard it on the More Science Temple of America channel, but they're hearing it in one concise moment right now, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
In the eras that we came in, I mean, YouTube was there, but it wasn't anywhere like it is now when I came in. And
Mhm.
you predate me as well, you two sheiks. So what's the solution for a young brother or a young sister that's coming in and they may see, this YouTube demonstration. They may even see this program, but then they seeing the other stuff that we have mentioned on YouTube, at their bookstore, or even passing by. What? How do we combat that? What's the solution?
Well,
Anybody go first? We can all go first.
yeah. Well, one. I I don't think that there is. I mean, I think what we're doing now is one way to combat it. But we also know that as hard as we will work to combat it, they're gonna be people who try to work just as twice as hard to put the negative or whatever out there, right?
Right.
So, one of the things that we, despite whatever temple, like, and we do this already too. Whatever we whatever temple we talk, that we have an address that we know might be in a specific city, we try to direct those individuals to those particular temples. Um, that's one way. Also, we people have our website. We can direct people to our website, telephone numbers, to be able to reach out to us so that we can do our due diligence with trying to find them a place where they could go proclaim their nationality and worship and support a temple. That's one of my 2 cents. But also, we're working towards having a platform where we want people to come, despite whatever you belong, whatever Moorish Science Temple of America you belong to. We don't want you to disenroll from your temple or stop what you're doing. We want you to be able, and we'll put it out there. We want you to be able to come, and we're going to have three fundamental rules, and we're going to pick up where Sister Janelle English Ill left off,
That's right.
where she had the Moorish Unity Summit. Um, we're going to continue to carry out that theme. Um, it may look a little different because the steps that we're going to take are just going to be not not all the way different, but we're going to build from the ground up as a grassroots type situation. And all those who would like to participate, as long as you come with open mind and practice love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, then we can take it from there. So if that's helps.
Praise the Lord.
Islam. Um, if you notice, right, this is a podcast, and you've been doing this podcast. Y'all been doing this podcast for a while, and I watch them all. Like when I'm out working, I go on the More Sense channel and I watch all the videos. And the thing is, and it's just like my podcast. It's something that we don't do. That people who are there for the clicks and the likes and and stuff like that. They always say
Uh,
like, share,
mhm.
subscribe. Okay, and because then they that's what they saying that because that's what they want
Mm-hmm.
you to do. Like, share, subscribe. I want you to just listen. I want you to listen. I want you to engage. I want you to ask your questions. I want to answer your questions. I want to find answers to your questions. With that being the case, this is what I'm learning because this is what we combat. So we need everybody when you watching this stuff. If you still listening after an hour and almost hour and a half, share it.
That's right. That's right.
Share it. If you have questions, ask your questions. I don't need you to just throw something in the chat just like out of support. Ask your questions. If you have a comment, make your comment. If you want to challenge what we
Right.
saying,
Yeah, that's right.
then please challenge it. Give us the opportunity to defend our truth.
Absolutely.
All right, give us that opportunity. But number one, if you still listening, share it. So that way, because otherwise, the note is what's gonna
Mm-hmm.
pop up in front of the people.
Hmm.
It's gonna be the
That's right.
note. And then the next thing you know, it's gonna pop up and we gonna see it, and then we gonna be like, dang. You understand what I'm saying? Because we knowing and understanding that I used to tell every member when they join the temple, and I still do. When you put this fez on and you say I'm a Moorish American, that's all the
Mm-hmm.
people know
That's right.
that you are a Moorish American. When they ask you something about the Moorish Science Temple of America, whether you give them the right answer, the wrong answer, whether you respond in the intelligent tone or you go berserk because for whatever reason, they think that's what the Moors do. They think that's what the Moors believe. So them other ones that got on their faces and stuff, and they're being heard on their
Mm-hmm.
platforms. People think that's more science. They think that that's what we about. So that's one of the things that we can do to help to as a solution. Because if the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was on the scene, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali would pick up every microphone he could, if and he would make sure that the words of life would be heard. So if you still listening, if you that's one of the things we could do, and then keep doing what we're doing. Just follow the Prophet's instructions,
Mm-hmm.
Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
Praise
Just to add,
Allah.
in, just camelbacking on what both of you said, I think operational unity is definitely important. That's something that we've been hitting on for a while now. We're going to have that panel discussion as you mentioned also, but I also think getting out among the people too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that we kind of take lightly, and we've been doing it for a while now here in Baltimore. But just all the respective temples, because again, you have various different administrations, but just getting out amongst the people and letting the people see, let the people decide. That's really what's going to be the telltale sign because at this point in time, it appears that the Moorish Science Temple of America is fragmented for individuals on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
But on the inside,
Right.
what they don't know is many of us correspond with each other every day. And if we
Mm-hmm.
aren't corresponding every day, we correspond when we see each other. I saw a brother at a function a few days ago, and if people looked at it, they would think that, we are at odds, but honestly, it's not even that. You know what I'm saying? So it is refreshing when you're able to sit down and have dialogues with people or other Moorish Americans, not just people, but other Moorish Americans, and you find that commonality. And that's really what we need. We need more of this, what we have right here, and not just speaking to the issues. Because I seen someone state about maybe a few days ago that we get on here, we say things that sound slick, but that's not even the case. We actually live this. This is part of our life. We live, breathe, and eat more science. And
Mm-hmm.
as a result of that, it's made our lives so much better. So I want to just say that part, praise Allah.
Praise Allah. That's
Yeah.
all I'm missing.
Islam. So
Yeah,
with that,
both well said.
you want to conclude on? You conclude? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Praise Allah, Moses. We, more to come. Uh, and we're not just, just saying this. Uh, Sheikh Prathael, who is our reigning elder,
That's
right?
right.
He has always told us, you know, what we needed to do was to get out and do work. And when we say work, you might have an idea. Um, you could bring it to our attention, and like Sheik Pennington Bay said, if you're a faithful member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we will help that idea come to fruition. So just keep watching. Like I said, participate. And we say that all the time, Sheik Pennington Bay, right?
Absolutely.
Um, we if you want to challenge us, we're here for the challenge. We just ask you to be respectful when you do so,
That's right.
right? Um, we tell people all the time that we don't debate, we communicate, right? Um, because as we said before, we're progressive and we're about resolution and we're about results, and we have um, a result oriented thinking. And that's what we stand on. That's what we are about. And we ask that if you're not, um, you can talk to us, but we're not going to spend a whole lot of time tongue wrestling with you, going back and forth. That's not what we're going to do. So, you know, keep watching, keep participating, keep sharing, your ideas. And if we can help those ideas to come into fruition, we'll do so. And we hope that you'll be able to help us help our ideas, which is ultimately connected to Prophet Noble Ali's system and the rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America, to bring that or to come into fruition as well. So I hope that you got something from us. I know I got something from each one of you, Sheiks, and even some of the comments that were stated. And that's all I really had.
Praise the Lord. So just adding on a few more points. It's going on to the Temple Hours. So if you're in the Baltimore metropolitan area, we're located at 1055 North Milton Avenue. That's Temple number 13. Our hours are Fridays, which is a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. That's 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then on Sundays from 12 to 2 is our Moorish Sunday School. We have our Ancient Forefathers Day celebration coming up on August 30th. It's going to be a great grand occasion. Various different members of our community, the Moorish community, the Moorish American community, but also the greater Baltimore community as well, in DC metropolitan area as well, Delaware as well, all different surrounding areas will be here in Baltimore as well. So come on out, come on out. It is for families, again, family oriented, and learn about the culture of your ancient Moorish forefathers and foremothers. Praise Allah. Sheikh Pennington Beatty, you want to give your information as well?
Islam, yes. So we here. The address to our temple is 203 Persimmon Street. We in Peoria, Illinois. And yeah, if you got any questions, I put my phone number 309-989-0390. You 309-989-0390. Call me anytime. You know, whatever. If you want to know about the Moorish Science Temple of America, go to those that know about the Moorish Science
That's
Temple of
right.
America. Those are the members
That's
in the
right.
temple. Go to the source. Don't you know? Go to the source.
That's right.
Islam.
Islam.
That's all I'm in.
Praise Allah. All right. Sheikh Pennington Beatty, you want to lead us off with the Moorish prayer quickly? Islam.
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 Islam is
Islam. Allah, Father of the
Allah, the
The
universe,
Father
Father
of the
of the
universe,
universe,
the
the
Father of
Father of
love,
love, truth,
truth,
peace,
peace,
peace, freedom,
freedom, and
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 justice.
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 Allah is my
Allah is
protector,
my
My
protector,
protector,
my
my
guide,
guide, and my
and my
salvation
salvation,
salvation,
by
by
night
night and
and
by
by
day
day,
through His
through
holy
his holy
prophet,
prophet, Drew
Drew
Ali,
Ali,